Hi everybody, this is Jolie from Happy Heart Arts. Jolie Collins. I'm a visual artist and I love painting, drawing, mixed media. I do photography and I include it as images, image transfers in some of my art pieces too. So I'm very happy to be here for this summer virtual market and once more I'm sharing my art technique and my art process. Yesterday, in my comments after I was done, someone had asked about like what my favorite medium is, and one of my favorite mediums is drawing. Medium for drawing, I should say. One of my favorite mediums is oil pastels. So actually, I'll show a few. I showed examples of gouaches, which is what I'm going to do today for my demo. But I want to be able to show what my favorite medium, oil pastels, look like, and some other drawings too. So here's actually a drawing I did. It's in pen. That's another one of my favorite mediums. So yeah, this drawing here is a woman with her eyes closed. I'm in pen. I also adjusted I guess the difference between doing a live stream at night versus doing a live stream during the day is that, hold on, I'm trying to fix some settings here. Not everything's washed out. I adjusted my thing, so hopefully white paper won't be blinding anymore and people can see things. This is one of my oil pastel abstracts. It's on paper, sketchbook, smaller space. I haven't done a lot of things on canvas this past year. So I've been doing things on mixed media paper. So I can paint and draw. It doesn't paint really well, this mixed media. Here's another oil pastel, playing with an imaginary idea. An open heart, literally, yeah. Oil pastel abstracts here of water. Let's see, I want to show you another one. Let's see, is this the wrong book? Oh, let me show, I've got a few more. Let me grab the other sketchbook. A lot of sketchbooks I've used this past year. I haven't quite finished them all out, but a few of them are almost done. And I'll show this sample last. Let's see, I marked my oil pastels in my other sketchbook, so I'll pull this up here. Another medium, Kent, whoops, let's see, I mirrored, there we go, cover my face, there we go. That's charcoal on red toned paper. Here's an oil pastel abstract. Normally I like doing it on paper, but I like being able to add a brush, and it works and able to use odorless mineral spirits with a brush to give it painterly quality. It didn't really work that well on paper. Absorbed too much, of course, though. I should have just noted it, but I was just playing around trying to figure out what I could do. Then I went to the store and bought more stuff. Amazing, when I moved, I didn't have all the things I needed. Anyways, oh, hi, Marissa. So anyways, showing my oil pastels here, abstracts. I know I'm going to actually be drawing a person. Let's see, let me find one more cool little drawing, an abstract, because this is like my favorite medium, oil pastel. Even try to make it work on paper. Alrighty, but I finally got some canvas. I need to buy more, but I finally bought some canvas at the end of last year. I got gifted some at the end of last year for Christmas, and then I bought a canvas pad. So both of these are oil pastels. It's one sheet. I was being economical. Oh, you like the purples? Awesome. It's one of my favorite colors. I dumped blue from my favorite color list for purple. Black and red are my top. But yeah, these are both oil pastels. One's a rose. Oops, wrong side. One's a rose on this side, and then of course the flower and mushroom. They look kind of like crayons a lot, but I love them. They just, it's like they're oily instead of wax based, like it holds the pigment in oil, like oil paint does, but it comes like shaped like a crayon. Love it. All right. So today I'm going to do a gouache. This is one of my first. This is the back side. Let me show the front side. This is one of the first gouaches I did on mixed media paper, and it beaded it up. I mean, it came out fine, but it beaded it up because it's not meant for gouache too much or watercolor. So I finally went and bought the right paper I needed. Watercolor paper, woohoo. The drawing I was working on before, but before yesterday's live, I did some more touch-ups, but this is the painting I started during the live last night. So, yeah, I feel good about it. I keep wanting to tweak it up a little bit. Oh, what did I mean by beating up? Oh, yeah. So, you know how, like, when you wet paper, and I just mean paper, not paper made for drawing on, but you know how, like, you wet paper and then it starts beating up a little bit? Um, yeah, like when you painted on copy paper as a kid or something like that. And then you know how it starts tearing up and the cotton starts pulling? That's what I mean by beating up the paper, not the water. If the water was beating up, it would have been, I could have used the puddles of water. But that also meant that it was resisting if it was oily. But, yep. So that's what it was doing, it was tearing up the paper. And, and I couldn't get it to absorb and stuff like that. So, anyways, buying. Whoop, that's the back. There we go. Buying some watercolor paper totally improved my painting process for working with gouaches. Yay! Um, yeah, I can build up much more. All right, let's see here. Yeah, so I'm going to do. All right, so that's enough of the show and tell part. I wanted to actually, do a painting. Woohoo! Or not a paint. Yeah, I guess it is when I do gouache. Or wash. All right. So I start with. Oops. Let me put my reference. I start with finding my reference. Let me start there. Yes. All right. All right. Let's see. I pulled up one. Since yesterday's picture was so serious looking, and I must admit I've downloaded a couple other photos for references, and I was looking at them. I realized they all looked so serious. I was like, I want to do a happy face. So I found someone making with their eyes closed, smiling big, fingers crossed. Yes, every time I start something new, I keep going, I don't know if this is going to work, but that's why I'm crossing my fingers. I can always start over, I guess, or, yeah, anyways. I know, I'm a nervous painter, I guess, or a drawer, artist. You never know for sure if it's going to work. I should have confidence. I paint and draw almost every single day. But, there's just times where you just feel like you're not feeling it. So, you just got to push through. So, yeah, I'm going to start with a technical pencil just to get some of my fine edges and try to, forgot. Now you can see my sketchbook. I'm probably not going to see, because I'm bending my camera down so much, I might not see any comments right away, but I will peek up now and then to check for comments. But yeah. All right, let me bend down and start the drawing. Yeah, so like I said, I'm going to work on a smiley face here. And it's of a young woman. I actually pulled up a black and white photo. Oh, the other thing is, I'm just going to do about half of the page. So I don't have to paint as big. Yesterday I was like, oh no, ran out of time-ish, sort of. All right, so I'm just going to try to keep loose here to start it off. Try to find my shape here. I've been doing this since a kid, drawing the shape, ovals. Oh, all right. Yes. Someone asked, what was it afterwards? I was looking at comments, asked about, did I find drawing them hard, like faces? Yeah, noses especially, but the weird part, I think I was always just drawn to the idea of drawing faces as a kid. I'm not sure if it's because I liked no, that was older, like comic books or something, or just liked Barbie dolls, or I'm not sure. I just was always drawn to faces and what is it? Eyes. Used to draw eyes a lot. When I was in high school, I had a friend who drew beautiful elf faces in chalk. And I love those a lot too. I'm trying my best to keep it light. They always tell us to draw light, so that way you can easily remove it or cover it up. But yeah, sometimes you draw too heavy. I am not guilty of drawing too heavy. At least not right away. It's not right away. If you draw light, you're able to hopefully correct any mistakes, like, easily remove them before you've locked down. When I say that, I mean, like, locking down your features. Like, you're supposed to start off, like, point, indications like, okay, my eye's going to be here, or my eye's going to be here. You mark that down, looking back at your reference photo, whether it's or reference person or item, and so you mark it down, and then you look back, and if it doesn't look right, you go back and tweak it, and you keep tweaking it. And sometimes you don't realize things are off until, oh, you put a few more features down, and you go back and go, whoopsie, that shape's wrong, that angle's wrong. So, so you keep it light, so that way, if you need to make adjustments, you can make adjustments. Um, yeah, I know. I feel like I am keeping it light. Um, right now, I'm just trying to find my placement a little bit here of where her eyes are at. Um, yeah, I'm putting off the nose. Like I said, it's the hardest one. I must admit, when I still like anime and manga. One of the things I do like about Japanese comic books and stuff like that, they just put little things like little triangles for noses. Let me erase that. And I'm like, ooh, I like that. Drawing noses aren't easy. Um, yeah. But I guess I keep trying at it so that way um, I don't get, it'll get easier. I won't always feel it as intimidating. Hopefully. Hopefully. I think I need to make her chin longer. I realized I didn't put enough space for her mouth. She needs to have a mouth here, right below that nose. Yes, sir. I know I got a lot of lines on here. I will blend them in with my wash, meaning my layers of paint. The wash part. I'm going to build my paint layers up. Sort of. It's not going to be too noticeable. Oh. Okay, that's fine. I understand. There was this thunderstorm yesterday that was probably giving issues on my end too. So I lucked out. I felt very happy being able to what's that thing called? Have a good copy to download. Oh, thank you, Marissa. Awesome, awesome. Yay, I'm glad that step-by-step process you find cool. Yay, yay, yay. But yeah, I understand if your internet gives you issues. It's also on my end too. It says it's keyframe too low, which is why I'm trying, or too low FPS. So I'm just closing the boxes and I'm just going to keep on pushing through. All right. All right, so let me go back. All right, so I'm going to adjust some more. Like I said, her mouth here. Let's see. And you know what? I think I have my angle wrong here. I'll look at my reference here. Brighten my screen up a smidge. Excuse me one moment while I peek. Okay, let's see here. And yeah, I did turn her head too much. That's why they say keep it loose. Da, 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 da. So that way I can move things over. I'm going to try without having to erase too much. I'm going to use the lines to reshape here. I'm going to try to not have to erase because I want to use my lines that I have here. Let's see. Actually, I'm going to try to, I should loosen this up a little bit. My hand, by drawing a little faster here. Trying to move everything over subtly. I think I do need to erase because this isn't quite right where it needs to be. I need a little bit more. I do see more of one ear than the other, but I made it too extreme. for head turn. Let's see, let's move this over here a bit too. I must admit, one of the fun things when I do charcoal, and I know I'm not doing charcoal, is that I use my hands a lot in blending sticks, and when I smear it around, so it kind of is easier to, like, smudge away a mistake, um, versus having to erase a mistake. Let's see here. Let's see, that's a little better. Getting some nice, my changes are slowly coming in. There we go. Needed more pencil lead. And I need to have a nice base to start off with. Nice base-ish to start off with, so that way, when I start the washes, it's not that it's like, oh, I want to have too much to do. It's more like it'll be off. It's like having that skeleton reference underneath it, and if it's too off, you won't be able to fix it too much. So it's better to have a slightly stronger drawing underneath it. If I was doing, or strong painting, let's say I was doing a painting, under painting versus under drawing. Yeah, that's a thing. I had to take a class to learn that, but you can have a stronger under drawing too, even if you start with a strong drawing too. You can do that also. You can do both. I really don't do under paintings. Either I'll sketch. I love drawing, so my big thing is I want to make sure to have I want a drawing. I use my painting as a embellishment to add extra to my drawing. I think, I'll be honest, my first love is drawing. I've been doing that as a kid. I didn't even draw in high school when I took art classes. Uh-oh, her ears aren't the same. Whoops, my bad. I didn't paint in high school. Some of my friends did, or my classmates did. I liked drawing, so I never went to the trouble to pick up the paintbrush. I'm not sure if I was really intimidated or if I just wasn't my cup of tea. I can't remember exactly. When I went back for art school many years later, and I ran into this teacher who talked about not being scared. It's fun. No need to be scared. And she was one of the painting teachers there. I liked her attitude, so I decided to try, for some of my classes, to try painting a bit, and actually took a painting class, and I did find it fun. Yeah. So I'm less intimidated by it. Haven't really found what I'm comfortable with outside doing abstracts. Ended up like really blending medium, my drawing with my painting. I did to get rid of some of the excuse me, you don't see, my nose itches. To get rid of some of my, trying to think, bad feelings about painting. I recently took, drawing and trying to think of a thought at the same time. Don't always work well, sorry. A painting workshop, trying to a plein air landscape painting class. Be able to use a palette knife at the same time as using, for painting. I think I said it backwards. Plein air painting class, plein air palette knife painting class. Yeah, that's it. Because I use a palette knife for my abstracts a lot. So I wanted to learn how to do something more realistic with something I was confident with using, which was my palette knife. It was a really fun class. And then I tried it on my own, and I was like, nah, they didn't work out so well. So I draw whenever I must admit, the things that make me feel confident as an artist is either doing abstract painting. When I don't feel like I'm a good artist, I draw, or I do an abstract painting. Yeah, when I went to a point where I felt like I was not an artist or a good artist, this was after going to art school, I did an abstract painting. Now that helped me get my mojo back. I'd lost my mojo. So yeah. Painting really painting abstract loosely, not worrying about um, trying to paint a figure. It really did help doing it abstract. Alrighty, I think I've got something nice here to start off with. Um, Actually, I put more in here than I thought, but I'm digging what I starting off with. I'm gonna, let's see here. Alright, so it's, alright. I am now going to, pull out my paintbrush. Alright, let me do this. Bam, paintbrush. Alright, I love this. This is a Traveler's paintbrush. I bought it, one, because, not because I travel when I paint with water, gouache. It's because all the water's in the tube. That's why I love this. The water's in the tube. That means I don't need an extra container of water that's splashing around. I can put it right into my little thing to reactivate my paint. Yeah, it's awesome. Gouache, and I said in yesterday's video, gouache is a lot like, gouache is a lot like watercolor. It works with water. So, yeah. I think I forgot to mention that gouache is comes in cake form, just like those pans like you see if like the watercolors come in that tray. Gouaches can come like that too. But they also come in tubes like other paints like acrylics and oils do. Turned out watercolors can come in tubes also. Anyways, yeah, that was my little note that I forgot to mention. I think only half started the idea and then didn't follow up with the other half. So, but yeah. Alrighty. I must admit, in the background, hopefully people don't hear it too much, my family's arriving from out of town. It's like, oh no. So, give me one moment. I'm going to say real hi. Well, actually, they didn't see me, so that's perfect. Alright. Back to the video. Alright. Oops, sorry. I think I'm hiding this from you guys. There we go. Let me tip this a smidge more. Alright, I got a lot of expression here. That makes it feel good. A lot of shadows. I always feel like I have to fix things, because yes, I do. Alrighty here. Alright, so I'm starting with a light washes. So I put my paintbrush in the paint and activated it, and I'm starting off with a light gray to start marking where my shadows are going to be at. The shadow shape. So there's shadow here, inside the eyes here, because of the camera, the light is coming, her head's tipped down, and it's kind of coming from the front and down on top of her head. And I realize my hand, when I'm indicating where the light's coming from, light's coming here from the top, kind of going down. That's why the top of her head here, top of her cheeks, all of her nose is all lit. As you can see, there's a heavy shadow underneath her chin, then it falls on her shoulders. So it's kind of coming from above, or it is coming from above, and then, yeah, so the shadows are pointing down. So anyway, some of these shadow shapes I'm painting in right now with light gray. I must admit, if I could have gotten my paints as cake form, I probably would have, because I like being able to, I use the dry form, which is what you can do with the watercolors. Use the dry form, and then add the color. It makes it easier to add the reactivating it, means it stays lighter, versus if it was straight up using it out of the tube, it's going to be, of course, thicker and more concentrated. And so, which defeats the point of me trying to do my wash, you know, and build up my layers of dark. Because once it gets too dark, it's like, no! You can have that effect as just like think watercolors. You know, if you muddy up your paint, or you make it too dark, you can't erase it. Gouache lost a little bit of layering, but I must admit I don't usually do that too much. So far, because I've only really used, for most of my gouaches, I've basically used only two colors. Brown and, yeah, two colors. Limited palette. So, I probably should use a little bit of watercolor. Not watercolor, probably should have used a colored pencil. Even though I'm going to be using black, my brain's like, oh no, maybe I should use a bit of pencil, colored pencil, because that would have been easier to move around. I'll throw it in later, but right now it's just, I want to pull in these shadows. And I see this edge here. Don't dig it too much. Right. Just charging up. I think I've heard that word, charging up your paintbrush. Adding color to my paintbrush. That's really what it means. The hair starter, so I'm putting a little bit more paint on it. Still less, it's very light. I let it go. I try to go from dark to light. And as the paint runs out, starting the dark section, and as paint runs out, I can go back if I have too much on my thing. Go back and add it to a lighter section. Like, oh, I need a little gray here. Let's put gray there where I don't want the black in. Because this is remember I was talking about watercolor paper and paper beading earlier. It's because, this watercolor paper will let me get my paper wet. I get my paper wet. Excuse me, one moment. Hi, I can't talk right now. Alrighty, so, I get my paper wet, and, yeah, and it doesn't fall apart. Alright, let's see here. Oops. I need to squeeze my tube of paint water. Squeeze this here. Whoop. Excuse me one moment. Forgot another tool, all artist tool, paper towels, come in very handy. I need to activate this a little bit more. It's great for wiping out excess paint, but I also needed to activate this a bit more. Yes. That's too dark, but it's all good. I also have white. That's another thing gouache has that watercolors doesn't have. It has gouache paint. It has white. Gouache has white paint. That's what I'm trying to say. It's gouache paint. It is gouache. Alright, let's see here. Yeah. It's funny. Doing it. I know I was complaining about like drawing's my thing, and here I am doing a example of me doing a painting. So funny. It's funny, as I think about this, I could keep it lighter and just really use it to fill in things, but, I really want to try to make this a combination, I hope. Let's see, let me add some more color here. Sometimes it's good to let it dry in between. Yeah. But sometimes I'm just not that patient. I'll be honest, I'm not that patient. At times. I might have to come back for our hair here. It's not building well. I will go back with my colored pencil, add lines. Um, yeah, let's see. I'll go back and add some lines for this because my paper is really kind of wet. Paint's wet here too. Um, so the lines are bleeding into each other, which is totally cool. I don't need to have a nice fine edge. Still, stylistically, I can choose to just have, just indicate, like, oh, look, this is her hairline, and there's a blah blah color representing her hairline. Yeah, but I should at least act like she doesn't have a dark streak in her hair. Unless that's exactly where the light was at. So I do need to fix that up. Try to see if I can, there we go. Move it out a little bit. See, turn here a smidge. See if I can fix some of that line there. Between her headband and her hair, add a little more shadow. Okay, let's see. I'm going to take sort of some of this paint. I got too much paint here. So, alright. Alright, got rid of too much of the paint. I'm trying to get rid of all of it. And there we are. Add some of the shadows to her forehead. Oops, got shadow over here too. Alright, I know I added too much paint, so I'm just going to add it straight to the neck here. Alright, let's see. Oh, that feels good. Let's see here. Let me turn it around real quick to be kind. It's not done yet, but there you go. This is, there we go. Right side out. Alright, back to the drawing board. Literally. Alright, I'm going to switch sides here a little bit. I'm going to put my image right where I like to draw it. Alright, this will work just fine. Here we go. I must admit, I find drawing and painting, I say relaxing, but it's not that it necessarily changes my mood. It's nothing like that. It's just something I like to do. Yeah, just something I really like to do. Always found it fun. Trying to think. To be part of, I don't think someone really pointed it out. It was something that turns out I really kind of need to do. Drawing and painting, making art, I should say it that way. Making art is just part of who I am. That's it. Yeah. I mean, it's not that there were times where I didn't do it. And it was funny. Probably not even on a regular basis. Probably somewhere in my 20s, during school. And someone pointed out that even during those times, I found ways to be creative, being a part of an organization and saying I'll help out with their marketing material, that type of thing, and not even realize that's what I was doing. Finding ways to keep my keep my creative juices flowing. And I was like, what? She's like, yeah, Jolie, it's something that you do. You like making, she phrase, I'm just Sage. Something you do. I like making things. That's how I'll phrase it. But I was like, that was just very revolutionary to hear. Um, and so, yeah. And empowering to know that's how I was made. I was made to draw and want to draw. And it's all good. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a little too dark. There we go. Drawing my brush off a bit there so I can get some of the excess I didn't really want on there too much. A little too much there. Let's see. Trying to slowly build some shadows. Alright, let's see here. I must admit, I don't normally do that. Um, so I'm so busy doing washes all the time and layered shapes, but with drawing you can layer in angles. I know it's going to sound weird. You can do it with big broad paints too, but um, I don't think I'm phrasing it right. Your line can shape a drawing, like the angles of it and all that kind of stuff. Oh, thanks, Marissa. Awesome. I was worried that I'm glad you mentioned that about the smile. Yay! That's what captured me in the picture. And then I realized everything was slightly off. So when I was drawing it, so I had to glad I fixed it because yay, it's coming together. Woohoo! Um, but sometimes in a drawing, you can use your angles of your lines that you put down to help capture the feeling or the energy. Not just the shape. Like I could do like extreme. I got a few here. Extreme angles. Um, in there, or I'm trying to, not angles, but oh goodness gracious, I can't think of the word right now. My brain just glitched on the word. Um, but it can be used to show action and oh gosh, movement or the feeling of movement, and you can put that into a drawing, even if it's just like a still image. Or an image of something that's not active, you can kind of add that energy there too with your lines, and that really works great with drawings. Um, I haven't really done it with. I'm pretty sure you could do it with a watercolor. I haven't really tried it though. But I was thinking like, oh, I could add a couple lines there. Um, but I like my. I must admit, I like my smooth washes. Anyways, I digress. I got weird. Let's see here. It does take time, patience to build some of these shadows. Don't be adding too much water down there. Alrighty, let's see. Let's add a little dark here. Alright, I must admit, so besides noses, the thing I fear and I was a little lazy about doing, I've actually done it in a couple smile drawings. And yesterday's drawing, she wasn't smiling, but I'll be careful with that one. This particular drawing, she has teeth, or she has a place where the teeth are at, but I didn't pencil them in, or I just left the, yeah, she got a teeth guard on. Just joking. because even though I love smiles, if you do a smile, if you I love smiles, but if you do teeth wrong, it's very obvious you did the teeth wrong. Um, so right now I'm just going to. I've now done 3 drawings where I've avoided drawing in the teeth. So as I look at this girl's face, I'll draw in some of the shadows for the mouth in there to indicate where the teeth are starting and ending. But I don't know if I'm actually going to draw in the teeth themselves. All the individual tooth, each individual tooth. I might just skip that because, if you mess it up, it's weird. And I mean weird in a bad way. Yeah, I'd love to say weird. Oh, it's good. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. I might just use, if I do, I might just pencil it in lightly. And then, so that way if I make a mistake, I can erase it. So that's what I'm hoping. Alright, trying to take some of that paint off there. But the shadow is really extreme in that corner. Now that I look at it a little more closely. It's on the right track with that. Alright, let's see here. Oops, I might have taken too much paint off. Let's see. Alright, so there is a thing of not putting enough paint. Alright, let's see. I might go back and... Alright, so one thing I like about, like I said, it's going to be a pencil and gouache, is that if like I said, I love drawing. I am much more confident as a drawer than a painter. And so one of my cheats, though, I'm sure every artist has their secrets that they're not letting people know about, but one of my things is that if I feel like, I find gouaches and paints great for adding big swaths of color, or sorry, big swaths of shadow, that I don't have to tediously color all in back and forth with my brush. Oh, sorry, big swaths of color that it's much easier to do with a brush than it is to do with, oops, sorry, my screen is getting light. Easier to do it with a brush than to do it with a pencil, or actually charcoal's really good at it too, because you can just brush it around. But drawing a finer line, instead of just doing it with a brush, I'll then go back. So even if I start doing the washes, I'll go back and add my pencil. And then that will make me, it just feels good that way, because then I'm able to capture more of what I'm trying to do, get it to look like, by blending the two and just doing it with the one. Alright, so thinking about that, I'm going to actually pull up my black colored pencil and do a little tweaking here. I might do some shading with it, but mostly it's to redefine some of those lines that either got washed away a bit, or just want more emphasis on, or just were never really there to begin with. Oops. Which reminds me of what line did I want to add here that I didn't do? So I'm looking at my drawing here going, I might need to, might be able to make a few more things a little bit darker here actually. And I think I shouldn't have used so much of the side of that pencil there. Whoops. sorry, it's just little nitpicky. The nitpicky things are just like all in the same spots. I do that. It's just like, all right, let me just work this section, and it's teeny tiny things that probably, like I said, it's teeny tiny, so you might not see that. It's like, oh, she's just working an area that I can't see the change yet. Yeah, sorry about that. Um, I must admit, one of the things I'm very glad of is that I decided to go smaller today because I feel I'm looking at the time going, woohoo, I'm getting, I got much more done. Like, also, I forgot. Oh, she has a huge ponytail back here. Whoopsie, missed that. My bad. Um, but the other drawing, as I showed you, was all dark everywhere. So I didn't have any of that done before. I was like, last time, I was like, oh my goodness. So I had to go in and add that. Let's see. Versus totally forgetting to add hair. That's a different story altogether. So actually, let me just go and add her hair. Her ponytail. Her background's dark gray too. I might do a little artistic license and do something else. Let's see here. That feels like hair. Yes, yay. Yeah, this black pencil is lovely, lovely. It's very soft. Don't know if it can blend well. If I took my finger and tried to blend with it, but it does. It does make some nice lines. Oh, that feels good. Sometimes I go over it again. I do sometimes let stuff. I like letting my lines show. I don't actually. I know sounds weird, that polished look. I think that's why I like drawing. I must admit, when I was doing my ink drawings, I would a lot of times just let. I did. I found a gray pencil. I can tell you that. I found it. Sorry, gray pencil. I found a gray pen. That was the color of a gray pencil, and it was great because I could have this feel of drawing with pencil, or the color flicking with pencil, but had the feeling of drawing with the pen as well as drawing with the pen. But I liked that feel a lot. Oh, I need to make that shadow darker, at least in the eyes. Yeah. Let's see, it's dark, too dark. It's not too dark. Yeah. But probably missed this. Pushing it back so the shadows are deeper here. Alright, let me pay attention to the time. So I'll probably wrap up in about 5 minutes here. But I feel so much better compared to yesterday's, which came out well, but I had to work on it some more afterwards. It was not near done, that's for sure. This one's not necessarily near done, but it's more so than yesterday's, that's for sure. Whoopsie. A little too dark there. Need to be dark, yes. But almost too dark there. But this is definitely in a better place compared to yesterday. I could probably fake being like, ooh, this is done, and not come back to it. Oh, and the question be about how do I know if something's done or not? Well, um, it differs. Um, it depends on the completeness, but for me, if I've worked on something and I don't feel like working on it anymore, that means it's done. Um, yeah, that definitely means it's done. If I don't feel like working on it anymore, it's done. Um, but occasionally I've worked on something like when I do my oil pastel. Sorry, when I was doing my acrylics, I was making them mostly to be done in that moment. And then if they didn't end up done, that was that. But there were occasions where I would work on it and be like, this doesn't feel done. And if it kept nagging at me, I had to go back and make that change. Because especially if I figured out, oh, this change will help make it. And so there's that too. Um, if it feels not done and it keeps nagging at me, um, I'll go back and make that change. Sometimes I don't, but yeah, I'll go back and work on it. Um, let's see here. Oh, this is almost. Anyways, this is what it looks like right side up. Woohoo! Yeah, yeah. I'm like, woohoo! It's coming out well. Um, I'm surprised. I know that sounds terrible. I'm surprised it's coming out well. Yeah, that's really weird for the. Um, but I never know exactly. You know. Oh, thank you, Brenda. Thank you. Um, thank you. I'm very glad to be here to be able to share with you guys what I do, what I enjoy doing. Just this moment, makes me feel really good to share what makes me excited, what I love talking about a lot. Though I do have other interests, but I really, really enjoy making art. Um, like when I took this art workshop recently, um, it was so cool just to be reminded of things, of how, like, if I was making a big completed picture, which I don't do a lot, but um, being reminded of, oh, hold on, I'll pause my story. So I want to say, oh, thank you, Marissa. Um, yeah, I'm glad I could share it with you. Um, oh, thank you for making a blank page come to a finished piece. Thank you. That makes me feel good. I'm glad you. Thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for hanging out with me. I was like, whoopsie, you can't see what I'm. You hear me, but you didn't see me. But yeah, thank you, Brenda. Thank you, Marissa, for hanging out with me. Um, yeah, it was fun to share my process with you guys. Um, yeah, I was just trying to say I did a workshop recently and just talking with the artists there and getting reminded of things I'd learned, but you kind of focus on other things and you forget. Um, and just those points help it to reliven um, my reliving my spirit. I think, yeah. I think I was losing some of it. They're talking about the rule of thirds and having a point of I forgot what it is. If interest to draw a person in. Those are a couple of things I was reminded of. But values, that's real thing. Values help to bring people in, the darks and the lights. And so doing these gouache paintings in black and white or brown and white, limited palette, just reminds me of like, yeah, the values, that really just helps. But anyways, thank you so much, y'all. Yeah, I am going to wrap up. Oh, for real. Thank you guys for coming. Here is my finished piece, my happy girl, woohoo! And or I should say near finished piece. I might tweak it, and then tomorrow I'll stop. But yeah, thank you for letting me share. It's been fun, and yeah. I'll be back. Oh, I'll be back again tomorrow, 2 o'clock Central Time. I'm on the East Coast, so for me it's 3 o'clock. Woohoo! I'm not going to figure Pacific or Western or Mountain, but yeah. Anyways, thank you guys so much. Have a lovely rest of the market and a great weekend. Yay, I'm glad I got sunny weather today, so I might go outside. Woohoo. All right, bye.